So if you are sitting on a chair and your feet are on the floor, make sure that they're in a parallel position, feet flat on the floor. And otherwise you're in a nice, comfortable, cross-legged position. And His Holiness always says it's great if you can sit in the full Vajra with both feet over both thighs, but don't do it if you can't do it. So please don't hurt yourselves. Anyway, you'll notice when you do it, it does straighten the spine and makes you very stable. So let's just make sure our sacrum is straight, that it's not tilting back. So you can raise your coccyx, just put a little cushion underneath there, and that usually sorts that one out. Shoulders over the hips. Now let's just again imagine our string of pearls, a string of light pearls, running from the base of the spine, the coccyx, all the way up through the crown of the head. And then just to imagine there's a person above you or behind you, very gently, just very gently lengthening this string of pearls upwards. So as you're very gently being lengthened, just notice all the stress of the day just sort of dropping away. And your head slightly tipped forward, your eyes down. And if your eyes are open, regardless of whether open or closed, looking at a place in front of you, about 2 inches in front of you. And your head slightly tipped forward, and the reason for this is if it's too far back, your mind becomes agitated. So if your chin is up, the mind will become agitated. If the head's too far forward, it makes the mind dull and you could sort of fall asleep. Tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth and relax the jaw. So let's just go to the crown of the head and relax the scalp. Just notice the face relaxing as you do that. The forehead, relax the forehead. Go to the back of the eye socket and relax the muscles there around the eyes. Relax the nose, the cheeks, the temple, the ears, the jaw again, the mouth. Let's just go to the back of the head and relax the scalp, the back of the head, the neck, the shoulders. Move to the front of the body and relax the chest and the belly, your arms and hands and fingers and the legs, the feet and the toes. Now just go back again and check that you haven't slumped. Check your hands are in the meditation mudra, the thumbs touching. Right hand nestled in the left. Let's bring the mind to the breath, just breathing in. Breathing out, notice the sensation of the cool air as it flows in through the nostrils. And then slightly warmer air as it flows out. We just think I'm here this evening to keep working on my practice of purification. Get rid of all those negative seeds. Create some merit so it can be a benefit to others. So we just remind ourselves that there is no negativity that cannot be purified. It's a psychological process, what we're doing here. LAMA YESHE said, we create negativity with the mind so we can change it with the positive thoughts. So we're doing this purification practice in the context of the 4 opponent powers. So the first of the 4 opponent powers is the power of regret. So we sincerely regret from the depths of our heart anything that's been done, that we have done to harm any living being today, this life that we can remember, and all past lives. So maybe there's something that happened this week today, the last couple of days that you've done with your body and your speech. So maybe just, if you know you've hurt someone, something, accidentally stepped on a snail, just have regret. And reminding ourselves that the reason we are having regret is based on the logic of karma. So having harmed, we will necessarily experience the results of that sometime down the track. So from our own experience of suffering now, we know we don't really want any more. So the logic is to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen into future suffering. It's like we're pulling the weeds out of the garden to allow the flowers to grow. So regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and speech. And if you have pratamoksha vows, bodhisattva tantric vows, and that maybe you've broken them or you've forgot to say your commitments, to just regret from the depths of my heart. I will try and do better in the future. So who can I turn to? What can I do about all my negative actions? So the person we turn to, this is in the second of the four opponent powers, is, we call this a power of reliance. And so we take refuge in, we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And in this case, it's the Buddha Vajrasattva. And he's appearing before us. This is you just imagine this is the mind of your Lama, your guru, your teacher, if you have one. If you don't, that's okay. So the image that's in front of us is kind of flat and one-dimensional, but the image that we want to have on the crown of our head, about 2 inches above the crown of our head, is this really dynamic, active, blissful, radiant, translucent being, holy being, compassionate being on the crown of our head, radiating white light, made of white light. So he's sitting in the cross-legged position, he's sitting on a lotus, and he's got this radiant, beautiful, youthful face. He's got these lotus-like eyes. They're peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all sentient beings. There has no judgment for you or what you've done, just wants to help you. He has this sweet red mouth and his hair is black and held up in a top knot. Arms are crossed at his heart, left underneath the right. The left holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra representing the indestructibility of compassion. They're being crossed represents the union of these, symbolizing enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. So I'll just say this prayer of refuge to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So here we just pause for a moment to think about developing compassion. So in order to do this, we need to rely upon other beings. So in this case, the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us. So think particularly of anybody you may have harmed recently and in the past. And then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. Develop a sense of compassion. And then this is a little bit more difficult, maybe a bit more challenging. Have compassion for the people who have harmed us. Because while our karma has been purified, their karma is just starting. The negative seeds are starting to ripen through their actions against us. So you have compassion for them, because their actions will necessarily ripen as negativity in the future. So it's not kind of like, it could be tempting here to go, ha ha, yeah, you're going to get what you deserve. It's not like that. We genuinely need to have a strong sense of compassion. It takes a bit of maturity. So we have a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all sentient beings. I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy, which is the actual medicine, doing the practice of purification. So the first, we purify the body, the speech, and the mind. So the first one is the body. And so we've been doing 7 mantras. So I've been reciting them a little bit faster. So I hope everyone's okay with that. So first of all, visualize Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sending powerful white nectar from his heart. And it sort of arcs around and enters your crown, pouring into your entire body, filling you completely. So just imagine it just keeps pouring into you and forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of this kind of inky black liquid. And this pours out of you, disappearing into space, not polluting anything around you, not one atom left. So we just think of all the things we've done with our body as we visualize. So nectar. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dino Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokayo Mebawa Supokayo Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawakama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So now feel absolutely delighted that all the harm you have ever done with your body since beginningless time is completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything other than be of benefit to others with your body from now on. How amazing. So the next is a purification of the speech. So again, Guru Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra. Again, it arcs around and enters your crown, filling your entire body. Except this time, as it pours in, it forces up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And all this negativity of the speech, it sort of overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you just imagine that all the gossip, the harsh speech and useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, all this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So again, feel absolutely delighted that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine that only pure words that can be of benefit to others are coming out of your mouth. Your speech is completely purified. So next, the purification of the mind. So this time, Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately is sending powerful beams of laser light this time. From his heart chakra, again, the light arcs around, if you can imagine that, and enters the crown of your head, your crown chakra, and fills your entire being. And just as LAMA YESHE says, just when you walk into a room and switch on a light, it immediately dispels the darkness. So too here, the minute the light from Guru Vajrasattva hits your heart chakra, it immediately dispels all the negativities of your mind. So all the attachment and neediness, the anger, violence, depression, resentment, jealousy, bitterness, anxiety, all these negativities, all these dark things that are in our mind, instantly purified, not one atom left. As we recite the mantra, you can imagine this. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempeyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tira Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So again, be absolutely delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of your own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and speech, are totally purified, gone. I think there is no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness, forgiveness, wisdom, and bliss and compassion. So now, the last one in this mantra recitation is the purification of the subtle imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So this time we imagine Guru Vajrasattva sending light and nectar. So you can imagine just light and nectar coming and purifying these subtle imprints, or you can imagine the previous 3 visualizations. You can do them simultaneously or one after the other, or just light and nectar, whatever works for you, however it feels most comfortable. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi mimpi yata sawa kama sutta me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita tida mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa anarakta mebawa sawa siddhi mimpi yata sawa kama sutta me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita tida mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa anarakta mebawa sawa siddhi mimpi yata sawa kama sutta me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe. Now feel completely purified. Not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So the fourth step is the power of resolve. So it's a very crucial one. This determination not to harm with our body, speech, and mind again. And without this, we're going to keep doing the same old habits. So this determination, this aspiration not to harm again, is sort of like a beacon that guides us. So just think of maybe something that you would like to work on. Maybe don't make it not too big of a commitment. So say you have something to do with your speech. Maybe you just deal with that for 5 minutes. So I will not gossip about Mary for 5 minutes, or John for 5 minutes, or 3 minutes, or between the time I go to bed tonight and when I wake up tomorrow morning, I will not bite my fingernails. Whatever it is, give yourself something reasonable. And we don't lie to ourselves. Think I'm never going to do this again when we won't. We just try. And then just generally try not to have our body and our speech become the servants of our delusions. So next, LAMA YESHE recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So whichever way you understand emptiness, think about all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side, and they do not exist the way we think they do. Okay. So for immeasurable thoughts, how wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were to abide in equanimity, free from the closeness of attachment and the distance of hatred. May they abide in equanimity. I myself will cause them to abide in equanimity. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. Immeasurable loving kindness, how wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were to achieve Buddhahood. May they achieve Buddhahood. I myself will cause them to achieve Buddhahood. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. Immeasurable compassion, how wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they be free from suffering and its causes. I myself will cause them to be free from suffering. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. And how wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were never separated from the happiness of higher rebirth and liberation. May they never be separated from these. I myself will cause them never to be separated from these. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. As a result of the 3 times merits of myself and others, the bodhicitta from which the happiness of all sentient beings comes, be generated in the minds of self and other sentient beings without delay for even 1 second, and that which has been generated, may it increase. For His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for LAMA YESHE, you who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serves as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers, honoring with 3 jewels, saviour of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long And for Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please, please live long. Well, there we go. Now we can all go to bed with a happy mind or go and have breakfast with a happy mind, whichever part of the world you're in. Thank you so much, everyone. I was only 2 minutes over tonight.